Alpesh B.Patel, CEO of Profanium Partners, is with us to take us through the stories. Lots going on.
Yes.
Morning, Alpesh. Morning.
Hello, good morning.
So, do you know much of Satya Nadella, new
No,
CEO of Microsoft?
And I think that's actually Microsoft's point. He's not the traditional sort of struck down the stage and flag-waving CEO. It's noticeable that it's on the front page of an Indian newspaper because, of course, he's Indian. And when you look at Microsoft and the head of Citibank and the head of Pepsi, they're all Indians, some of the world's largest companies. And it's good news as well in the UK because the head of Deutsche Bank and the UK's wealthiest man is Indian. And this is important because there's been this story that perhaps Indians, and in the Indian press, that Indians aren't necessarily welcome in the US or in the UK because of immigration controls and so on. And this shows just how well we do, doesn't it, Naga?
Do you think they're not? Do you think they're not welcome?
Well, the immigration stories running in the press overseas have been that there's restrictions, particularly in the UK. But in actual fact, the message has been very clear that yes, indeed, they're very welcome. I mean, I travel around the world for UK trade and investment and make that point, but it's misrepresented abroad. It's not that we've got open borders; it's that if you've got the qualifications and the skills, you are in the US as well.
But, sorry. What I was going to say, though, was back to Satya Nadella. Is he the right man for the job, though? That's the big question. Because when you looked at those who were considered or said to be the ones that could perhaps take the job, you know, the head of Ford, Alan Mulally, who's been always saying, no, actually, I don't want to go there. Stephen Elop of Nokia, big names, well-established chief executives. The issue with this man is, although he's been in Microsoft a long time, and he's in the cloud area, which is obviously where they want to head towards, he's not been a CEO, he's not been in charge of a company or even a large company like Microsoft.
I declare an interest. I'm a Microsoft shareholder and I'm happy as a shareholder, which probably tells you a lot. I think he is the right person because I think the worry about bringing in somebody from outside is how long before they jump. Microsoft's the kind of company where, given that this is only the third CEO in its history, the kind of person you want from inside because the other two were insiders.
But then you've got the likes of Steve Ballmer and you've got big personalities in the other tech companies, and you said he's not like that. Well, I wonder if Microsoft is trying to make a name for itself and is battling against the likes of Google and other big tech companies, why shouldn't you have a big personality?
I want a quiet, safe pair of hands when it comes to Microsoft because they're the back end to my business. Facebook, Google and Twitter are not the back end to my business. They're fun companies, so I let them have fun CEOs. Even Apple, let them have fun CEOs. Microsoft, I want somebody who's boring and dull, pretty much an engineer techie as he is, because I don't want things going wrong. Because when Microsoft goes wrong, my business goes wrong. When the other companies go wrong, nothing happens. It means I'm not...
Interestingly, though, as well, Bill Gates is going to be more involved because he's stepping down as chair of the board, but he's taking on this new role, which means he'll be much more involved in the day-to-day at
think
Microsoft.
about it.
So he's back in the frame.
If you could have Bill Gates on the board of your company, wouldn't you want him? And quite right, you want him more involved.
Well, he's staying on the board. He's not chair, but he's going to be much more involved in the day-to-day.
You'd want him more involved. Anybody would. And it's an asset which Microsoft, it's the first thing, if you're CEO, you would call on. You'd say, well, I want one of the best brains in technology more actively involved. Quite right.